So this is Talkaoke. Here we are. Come and take a seat. Come and get involved if you would like to. We've got me, Mikey, and Lizzie. Come and have a seat. So Lizzie, have you been involved in this whole thing? You're wearing the orange T-shirt.
I am wearing an orange T-shirt. I was the assistant director for the July 19th Outdoor Spectacular.
Okay. Tell us what was that?
So that was a big dance and music event outside the town hall, a bit like today. We had a stage outside, and there was a massive performance, kind of going through commemorating the riots from 100 years ago, but also going through the last 100 years of kind of protest, and it was all about kind of people and empowerment and power and passion.
So what are these riots? Can you tell us a little bit about that? Come and have a seat. Join in. We need. Yes, you can do it. We've got Lizzie. I'm Mikey. What's your name? Joanna. Come and have a seat.
I will come later on.
Dave, do you want to join?
I will join you later.
Yes, come along. What's your name? Dave. We've got Lizzie. Possibly Joanna later. So we were just talking. Apparently, there were some riots in Luton 100 years ago. So just to get your name again.
Dave.
Dave, do you know about this as well?
I know a little bit.
A little bit about it. Okay, yeah. What were you going to tell us? What were you saying?
So, would you like to know a bit more about the riots first?
Yeah.
So, the Peace Day riots, they were 100 years ago, and it was after World War I, and there was a big party to commemorate, to celebrate the end of the war, but the tickets were far too expensive for normal people to go, so the normal people of Luton who had all fought in the war all rioted, and then it all ended with the town hall being burnt down.
Really? Wow. So people were pretty angry about that.
They were very angry.
Okay, has Luton learnt its lesson? How much does it cost to take part in this, in today's...
It's completely free today.
Free?
And everyone is invited.
Okay, so none of that exclusivity anymore.
No.
It's
to
free.
The community. It's all free.
And yeah. Are you from Luton?
I am, yeah.
Did you know about these riots?
I didn't before, but I know now. Yeah.
I think it's quite interesting because
it is very interesting in what happened.
I mean, to me it sounds a bit weird. Come and get involved in this. Come and have a seat. Yes, you can do it. I know you've got your high vis vest on, but we've got some interesting subjects going on. I mean, to actually charge people celebrating the end of the war, to me that sounds a bit strange.
You couldn't make it up. I mean, people go to the war in this bad time, hard times. They come back, they expect to find jobs and move on, but then. Things like that happen, and see there's a riot, and things are.
But also, I don't necessarily think of Luton as a place of rioting. Come and get involved in this. This is Talkaoke pop-up talk show. We're talking about. Come and have a seat. We're talking about. Sorry, I will do a little bit just to gather some some people in. This idea that there's a riot in Luton, and the place gets trashed. Did you know about this? Come and have a seat. Come have a seat. Yeah, you can. Yeah.
I would love to. Honestly, I would love to. But
Did you know about this story?
No, I haven't.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. It's, give us a couple of minutes. Come on there.
I'll be listening.
Yeah, because my hope. What's your name, by the way? Eddie.
Yeah.
My hope, Eddie, is that we'll have more people around the table and make a better picture. So right now it's just that obviously you're going to go for a narrow frame, but right now, but later on there's going to be people, passionate people around the table. That's the time to get the photos. Right now it's about drumming up the conversation, getting the conversation going. Did you know about this, Rick? No, you're not listening, are you? There was a riot here 100 years ago. They trashed Luton.
The town hall down. The town hall.
Okay. What was the old town hall like? Was it as nice as the new one?
I think for one, it was in a different place. So it was where the mall is now.
Right.
So they built this new one in the 1930s.
Right.
So I assume it was more of that time.
Yeah. And they probably made it out of less combustible materials as well.
Yeah. I think it's stone now. It looks less burnable.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But I mean, history is kind of.
Where are you from?
I'm from a place in London called Hackney.
Hackney, I know Hackney.
If you know Hackney, you know it. Yeah. But I don't know.
Do you know much about Luton?
I don't know much about Luton. We've got a town hall that's very similar, actually, to this one. But I don't know if our one got burnt down or if it's similar. One of the things we've got out. I know this is not really about Hackney, and it's not supposed to be about. Come and have a seat. Come and get involved in this. Yes, come on. Yes, come on, you can do it. Help us warm this up. We're talking about Luton. Do you know about Luton? Come over. What's your name? Ask Mum to come and join. Anyway, and yes, that's you as well. Come, help us get this going. Come on, you're not doing much at the moment, so you might as well help us do this. So at the moment, we're talking about town halls, Hackney Town Hall and Luton Town Hall. What's your name?
Christian.
Christian. We got Dave. We got Lizzie. I'm Mikey. And maybe this lovely lady here is taking photos. Maybe you come and help us get this going. We're talking about town hall. Is this town hall a particularly fire-resistant town hall? That's what we're talking about.
We're going to test it. I don't,
well, I don't know. Maybe,
I hope not.
I mean, maybe, I don't know, you could sort of recreate visually with the projections, because we're projecting later on the town hall.
Yes.
You could project a fire just to kind of like recreate the moment of a. Would that work?
We'll be recreating the riot later on.
Yeah, recreating a riot.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're not going to get the fire. You're not going to get the fire, but you're going to get the emotion of the
riot. So.
I mean, that's kind of interesting because they do those kind of battle reenactments. Could they do like a riot reenactment where people kind of like took the different side? Was there different sides? Did they have riot police in 1919?
There's a question.
I don't know. I know that. Hello.
This is Talkaoke Pop-Up Talk Show. We've got Christian, we've got Dave, we've got Lizzie, I'm Mikey. What's your name?
Francesca.
Francesca, come and have a seat. No, what's that? You don't have to say anything if you don't want, but just come and sit around. You're very, very welcome. Are you from Luton?
Yes.
Did you know there was a riot here 100 years ago?
No.
And they burnt down the town hall?
No.
Can you tell the story a little bit more?
So there was a big party 100 years ago to commemorate the end of the World War One, but the tickets were too expensive for ordinary people to go, and so those people who were the kind of ordinary Lutonians who had fought in the war, they rioted and ended up burning down the town hall. Yeah.
Maybe later. Yeah. Anyway, we've got another face over here. Come and have a seat. We've got Christian, we've got Dave, we've got Lizzie. My name's Mikey. We're just getting the conversation started, actually. We're talking about riots. Could you have a riot reenactment? Because did you know about the riot that started 100 years ago?
Yeah, of course I do. I was born in Luton, as was my father.
Yeah.
As was my grandfather.
Yeah.
My grandfather says it was all Luton Borough Councils fixed to get rid of their records because they were a shonky, and they blamed it on the people.
Really? So they did their own riot?
Yes.
Is that really?
They put in agents provocateurs and started the whole thing up.
Really? So
Yes.
they could burn it down and start again?
Yes.
Okay, what were they trying to, like...
Shonky records.
Okay.
Financial misdealings.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
That is the belief of old Luton families.
Right, okay. So it was like what's the word? A cover-up, yeah. Was it a cover-up?
Nowadays you do it on the internet, wouldn't
Yeah.
you? You do, or you do it
Yeah.
in
Okay.
whatever way, but not now, not then, because
Right.
they
It was
didn't
all
have any.
papers, yeah.
It's all papers.
Okay, what's your name?
Eileen Mahoney.
Can I just call you Eileen? Is
You
that
can
all
call me
So
Eileen, yeah.
we've got Christian, we've got Dave, we've got Lizzie and Mikey, and we've got some more seats around, more faces. What's your name? Camera person.
Greta.
Greta, come and have a seat. You can rest your little mini tripod down on the table, that's fine. What's your name?
Halima Ali.
Halima.
Halima, yep.
Okay, so at the moment we're talking about the riots of 100 years ago in Luton. Did you know about these, first of all?
Yep, I did.
Eileen has suggested that it was a cover-up. To cover up, they burnt down the town hall to cover up some financial misdealings, some dodgy dealings that may be happening during the war when people weren't looking. Are you familiar with this theory?
Nope.
I'm not either.
It will only be old Lutonians that
Yeah.
will tell you that. People who would have had great grandparents living
Yeah.
in Luton. That's all there would be.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But that was the belief anyway.
Yeah, I mean now I guess you're kind of celebrating this rather than sort of like
Well, I think it's to
Yeah.
kind of rewrite the wrongs in some
Yeah.
ways, to kind of put on
Yeah.
loads of art events that include everyone,
Yeah.
including those that maybe don't get a chance to
Yeah.
access art normally.
Right.
So that's why we've had 6 months of outdoor events where people can, like in the middle of the town where people might not think art would happen.
Okay, are people still suspicious of the council? Do
Yes.
they? Yes, they
Yes, we dislike them very intensely.
are. Okay.
Yes.
Can I go around the table on that one? Are you suspicious, Halima?
I'm a Labour Party member.
Yeah.
So I did run for councillor. I didn't get elected.
You didn't get elected?
But I think
Maybe next time?
maybe next time. Yeah, maybe next time. But I think there's always, especially with young people, there's always that sort of disconnection almost with politics and kind of like the state of current affairs these days. So we kind of want our voices heard.
I mean, you look to me quite young yourself.
Yeah.
So what is the way to get younger people, like, you know, less suspicious, less cynical, more involved in political machinations of the town?
I think it's you know, they feel like their voices aren't heard, or I should say we feel like our voices aren't heard. And that it's true. It is true. So I think we need to kind of like rally together and actually make our voices heard.
Right.
It's more of a like a collective thing. So
I'm just turning you up a little bit, just
okay.
to make your voice heard a bit more. So okay, so young people feel like their voices are not heard. Come and have a seat. What about young people? Are their voices heard enough in the town? Do you think? Do you think we hear enough about? Come on, come get involved in this. This is Talkaoke. That's okay. What language do you speak? We can translate, I'm sure.
Okay.
What's your name?
Ramon.
Ramon.
Yes.
Come and have a seat. We have got Lizzie, we've got Dave, we've got Christian, we've got Eileen and Halima. Come on. Where are you from?
Romania.
Romania.
Yes.
I don't know too many Romanian words actually. I just know like Bruna, and that's it really. Mulțumesc for sitting down.
Yeah. Is thank you. Mulțumesc.
Yeah. So what's your name again?
Ramon.
Ramon. So we're talking about the history of Luton, and also this question that Halima brought up is, do people get heard in Luton? Do you feel that your voice is being heard? Do people listen to you?
But I know speak English.
Okay, so well, that's an interesting point. I guess. Like, come on, guys, come along, come on. How do you say? Come on.
Translator here.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyone translate?
We do need a translator. Any Romanian speakers out there that can help us? No. I mean that is an issue, I suppose. When you've got people from all around the world, how do you get that? How do you break down the language?
Come.
You've got more.
My friend, come here.
Please, come along. How do you actually?
You want it?
Oh.
Huh?
Oh, you're
Chicken
very.
rice.
Oh no, I'm a vegetarian. Thank you, very kind. But you sit down and eat there. But so we're talking about voices getting heard. What is the answer? Do you think, Dave? You got any
answer? Well,
yeah.
Events like this.
Yeah.
You know,
just get people talking.
Yeah, it's a stage for the youngsters to come out and let their voices be heard.
I mean, is it happening more? Come. So. This is Talkaoke Pop-Up Talk Show. We've got Lizzie, we've got Dave, we've got Christian, we've got Eileen, we've got Halima. What's your name?
Christian.
Yeah. So one of the things, what's your name?
Jordo.
Okay, so one of the things we're talking about is like all the different people in Luton. Are they getting their voices heard? They are today.
They are today.
But is it just today, or is it? Do you think that's something that?
Well, it's probably something that should happen a lot more. Yeah. Definitely.
Okay. And what do you think about? Do you feel like the local council listens to what you? Are you from Luton? Do you live in Luton?
Yeah, I live in.
Do you think the people listen to what you've got to say?
Good the people in here in Luton is
Luton?
yeah. It's very the best people in Luton.
So you think Luton's a good place?
Dedicație pentru unchiul, pentru Viteza și pentru Marcel.
It's his birthday.
It's his birthday. Okay, happy birthday. Okay. Yeah. What's this over here?
We're just chatting amongst ourselves. We're talking about nepotism in Luton Borough Council.
What's it say? Say that again.
Nepotism in Luton Borough Council.
Is there nepotism? Do you think?
Well, with the councillors, yes.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, does it? I mean, in a way, does it have to be like that just to keep the system going, to keep the wheels greased?
Well, I have an antipathy to Eton boys in government, and I do not want to see that kind of nepotism in Luton.
Oh, right. Okay. I mean, have you got an example of somebody that, when you say Eton boys, are they
Well, we all know that the country's run by Eton boys, don't we?
Can you give us an example of some of those politicians?
All of them. All of them.
Yeah.
Boris Johnson.
Boris Johnson, okay. Okay, so what do you think of Boris Johnson on this side?
Sorry?
Boris Johnson?
No.
Do you like Boris Johnson?
Yeah, I like.
You like him?
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah?
He's very
you think
good
he's
man.
a good guy? Boris Johnson?
Yeah, he's
like
good.
him,
Yeah, he's good.
Okay, well these guys like Boris Johnson.
I like him because they're men and they're obviously tough, and he is.
Yeah.
But that's only part of the population, isn't it? What about the rest of us?
The rest of the people.
No.
Yeah.
But as I say, how can they judge what it's like for the average Lutonian or the average person in the country to live when they've been brought up with privilege?
Right. Okay.
Who is
Boris
this name?
Johnson?
Yeah.
You don't
Because
really
I don't know. I don't know him.
He's new here, that's why he don't understand.
You don't know. Okay.
No, I know.
Okay, so maybe someone can someone explain Boris Johnson a little bit?
Prime Minister.
He's the Prime Minister.
Leader of country.
He's the leader of the country. He's the leader guy. He's the leader of the country.
I know now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think
Now
of
it's
him?
move.
Is he a good guy, bad guy?
Bad guy.
Bad.
Very bad.
Bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
This man is who do the Brexit.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, this man is a very bad man.
Sorry.
Okay.
He's the bad.
Okay, so when I just said Boris Johnson, you were just thinking like a generic English guy, but now you know it's the Brexit guy. You don't know.
He was hungry when him start the Brexit, you know?
Yeah.
They don't have food enough for him. And that's why he stopped to people to come in here from another country to not eat all the food, I think.
Okay, so he wants to keep the food. Okay, I mean, what basically what Eileen is saying. This is Eileen.
What we do terribly badly here in this country is we import people to work cheap. Right? It is a disgusting thing to do because we are all people and we all deserve a roof over our head, food to eat, etc., etc. Every one of us.
Yeah.
Right? But people who have a lot of money do not like to spend any of theirs on the likes of us.
So okay, so you're saying there could be more sharing of the wealth, maybe in Luton.
There's never going to happen with the governments as it is because of the Eton boys will not share money.
Okay. What do other people think about this? Could we be sharing the money more? Yeah. Okay. What about Christian, Dave? What do you think about this? Any views on it? You're not really that into politics.
Not really, no.
Christian?
No, well, you know, the whole thing's a shambles. So,
Yeah, you think it's a big mess?
Yeah, it is a big mess.
I mean, could other politicians do a better job, do you think?
No, I don't think so. I think the whole lot needs to go. I think Guy Fawkes was
So
right.
in a way it comes back to your point, Halima, about disillusionment, that we don't really... Are you disillusioned about politics?
No, man, I don't
really think
I'm like everyone. I come in here to work, and that's it.
And you're not that worried about the politics, or you are worried about the politics?
It's half, 50-50, you know?
Let me bring in Halima. I mean, people are disillusioned about politics, and they don't feel that anyone can really...
Yeah, I'm a youth worker, and you know, when you speak to young people, and you know, as a young person myself, it's kind of making their voices heard and telling them, you know, they have a right, they have a vote, but if they think their vote won't actually make a difference, you know, there's a lot of apathy that results in with that.
So people don't really believe in it. They don't believe that anything will make a difference. Come and have a seat. We're talking about politics here. We have got Halima, we've got Eileen, we've got Christian, we've got Dave, we've got Lizzie and Mikey, and what was it? Ramon.
Boris Johnson. If you say like Boris Johnson, me and my voice I go.
So what your name is? Ramon?
Yeah, Ramon.
And what's
like
your name
this
again?
man?
Jordi.
Boris Johnson, no, everyone from
What's
here.
your name?
Jordan. Bobo.
Bobo. And what is it?
Christian.
Christian, that's right. And what's your name?
I'm Mark.
Mark, so when we're talking about politics, do you like Boris Johnson? Do you dislike Boris Johnson? Do people have a kind of disillusionment with politics because of what's happening, and we don't seem to be going anywhere?
Well, seeing as I'm a councillor, I think I better listen to what other people have got to say.
Okay, well, that's an interesting point. I should say as well, we've got Rick that's making the visuals here, and we started the whole conversation talking about the riot that happened 100 years ago, and this is like 100-year-old riot police. Rick's. Did you make that up, Rick? Did you? That's not a real picture, is it? You've just made that. I mean, it is a real picture. Okay, so anyway, Rick's seeking to visualise the conversation. This is Boris Johnson's great-great-granddad in right here. So where do we want to go with this conversation? Do we want to talk about the sense of history? Do we want to talk about the politics? Do you want to talk about this sense of disillusionment? Where do you want to go with this conversation? I mean, you're not that interested in politics, are you?
I think politics is getting a bit boring. I think we want to talk about the event of what's going on today.
Okay. All right. So, I mean,
what we can do to improve Luton.
Yeah.
Rather than forget the politics, because they don't care about us, but what can we do genuinely to improve Luton?
Okay.
And the big issues that we look at and basically we get fed up with every single day. What are they?
Okay, I mean, I'm gonna turn the mirror back and ask you that question.
Number one.
Yeah.
Dirt.
Yeah.
Litter. An arrogance that says I don't have to do anything about cleaning my own crap up.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. I'm just going to stick with one at a time. So, one thing that you could do to improve Luton, what would it be? One thing.
So, what do you think for Romania? Is good people or no?
What do we think
Romania?
about Romania?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a different question.
See, because
people in Romania, still people in Romania.
Okay, well maybe we can link the two things together. Maybe more of an appreciation of Romania. I'm going to take that. Okay, I mean, any views on Romania, Mark?
No. I've not been there. I can't really say much about Romania.
You don't know much about it, so maybe more of a knowledge about Romania. I'm going to take.
Visa for Romania is it's visa for everyone who live in Europe. You know.
All right, so you're very concerned.
I think nobody accept to put visa for the
yeah.
Maybe that guy don't think good for people who come in another country here to work. Him not coming just work for themselves, work for this country's world. Yeah.
Okay. So you're
like
working
production
for the
is go like 100%. You know, everything got.
Okay. Well, I'm going to combine these two things together, and we're talking about
I've been to Romania. I've been to Bucharest. Sibiu. But Brasov. Transfer Garrison Highway. Very good country. So better than UK. Better than the UK.
They're doing there?
I don't know. Just
final thought, Halima, before you go.
I'm here for the 2:30 talk. So
okay. We're coming to that soon, but and I guess we're gonna have the same people there. But anything to say about one thing would you do to improve Luton?
I think showcase the creativity that Lutonians have, but with showcasing the actual Luton artists. Yeah.
Okay, so showcase the talent of Luton. I'm going to come to you in a second because we're going to go around the table. What one thing could you do to improve Luton? So far we've got the litter, we've got an appreciation of Romania. Mark, have you got one thing that you would do?
I haven't got one thing. There's a lot of things we've got to do to improve Luton.
Earlier on you were talking about listening. Maybe that listening in a way, more listening could actually improve Luton.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, but I mean, not necessarily just you.
How do we get you to listen? How do we get councillors to listen?
I spend my time listening. That's what I do generally. Is listen to what people have got to say.
Well, I mean, is it just you, or is it? Could that idea of listening could be spread out to sort of like further, to like the whole of Luton? I mean, is it? Do we need to improve listening within Luton altogether? Got a new face over here.
There's you can listen. I'm here to listen right now. We need to, but when we have events for people to have their say, you tend to get the same few people turning up. generally, I don't find those people are reflective of the whole of Luton.
Right. So it's about involving the whole of Luton in a way.
Absolutely, absolutely. But how do we engage those people? How do we engage those people who don't normally engage?
Yeah. Okay. So there are the channels that don't, not necessarily everyone. I've got a new face over here. I'm sorry to ignore you. What's your name?
Dominic.
Dominic. We got Christian. We got Bobo. We got Ramon. We got Mark, Eileen, Christian, Dave, and Lizzie. I'm Mikey. And then we're sort of talking about what you can do to improve Luton. So far, we've had litter, better, cleaner town, more listening. Christian, give us a final thought before you go.
Good luck.
What one thing would you do? What one thing would you do to improve Luton?
It's just getting everybody, all the different people, to just get along. That's the main thing, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to be working here. And we're sort of going around the table. I'm going to come to you in a second, but I just want to, because he's a new guy here. What's your name again, sorry?
It's Dominic.
Dominic. We got involved Dominic because he's a new guy. Dominic, what would you do to improve Luton?
I'd keep doing what we're doing now, engaging the art development and engaging people in Luton.
So you think art is important, but engagement as well?
Self-expression.
Yeah, self-expression.
As a more art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I just ask you guys? What is sort of like Romanian art and culture? What is that? And is there enough of it in Luton?
I want to tell something. Don't forget what you say now about the Brexit. Yeah, they wanna put visa for all the people from the other country in Europe to come here. Yeah, I understand. The problem is for people who come in another country, it's not so big problem to go another country to go work. Big problem, 100% problem is from people from here, like English people, to go another country. You know, and they have to have visa like in Europe, like another country to go. Yeah. So I try to explain to stop this Brexit is for everyone. I know people from English. I work with they. It's good guy, you know.
So Romanian guy. Better if we can all
better for everyone.
Countries.
Exactly.
Okay.
To stop.
And anyway, I guess we're talking about Brexit now, but also as it affects Luton.
You accept to have visa? No.
For me, it's not going to be applicable because at 70 I'm not going to go for work, am I? So,
but I mean,
but yeah.
What's your views on Brexit? Do you think it's a good idea?
I think that unfortunately, I like the common market.
Yeah.
I don't like it as it is now.
Right. Okay.
Because I think that I think that it doesn't work, and I think that it makes the ability to basically to abuse people easier.
Right, okay.
Rather than the other way round. So it should be that everybody's equal and fine and all the rest, but it's not. We are an abusive, not just our
when
nation.
When you say abuse, what
but if we can find anybody to work for cheap, if we can find anyone to work to be indentured, as there's a lot of people in West Africa indentured, and it's done a lot by, of course, America, and of course right throughout Europe, and we failed to accept that. We failed to accept the fact that we advertise jobs for people to come to this country to work. We don't advertise them here because the pay scale is too bad.
Right, okay, so it's a way of keeping wages low.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and that is what I know. People would disagree with me, but that is a fact. I mean, Luton Borough Council doesn't they? They advertise jobs abroad before they advertise them here.
Okay.
I don't believe that to be true. I've never been aware of.
Local unions believe that to be true,
okay.
And in fact, apparently, it was 2,000 jobs last year.
We're on the big Brexit words here now.
We should do Brexit because I don't think Brexit's important to Luton. I think what is important to Luton is getting everybody to mix, to know one another, to respect one another. And that means, I respect her, she respects me, and so on.
Is that happening at the moment, do you think?
I think it's not bad in comparison with a lot of other places. I think Luton's pretty good, but it could be better.
I mean, we're talking about Luton. Come and have a seat. Come and join in. So we have got Mark, we have got Eileen, we've got Halima, we've got Dave, we've got Lizzie, we've got Dominic. Hello. And my name's Mikey. What's your name?
Amy.
Amy, at the moment, we're talking about Luton, and I think, are we on the main PA? I don't think we need to be right now, because I think we're still warming things up, getting the conversation going. But anyway, at the moment we're talking about Brexit and Luton, is Luton a good place to live? Do we actually listen to each other in Luton? Do we respect each other's communities? And what about the question of employment? Are people getting paid enough? These are some of the questions. So that's where we are right now. Have you got any views on that straight in, or are you just going to sit and listen?
Probably too many views on all of that.
Yeah.
Some favourable to some and some not, I guess. Yeah. Personally, I think I've heard I was listening to some of the things, and yes, Brexit affects everybody globally. That's not just people in Europe either. It's the way they've instigated it just has created borders. It's created like barriers between people. It's just given everybody an open invitation to hate everybody.
Right. Okay.
So for me.
So for you, it's more about the vibe and this.
It's just causing so much animosity and disagreement with everybody, and that's the biggest problem. Is that people just want to live. We don't want walls. We don't want barriers. We don't want to have to go through a customs every time we walk across the street, and then you're suddenly putting up a barrier now in Northern Ireland. Like they haven't got enough bloody problems. Like they haven't just come through that, and they don't want that, and we don't want that, and so lots of stuff like that. But Luton's great.
Okay, so I mean a lot of love for Luton today, and we've only just kicked off as well. But I've got a new face. What's your name?
Hello, I'm Kat.
Kat. We got Amy, we got Mark, we have got Eileen, Halima, Dave, Lizzie, and Dominic. Dominic, you wanted to say something?
You asked me about what Luton can do, and I was...
and you're talking about art and culture and getting people engaged. I mean, does this fit into what Amy's saying about just improving the vibe and having a kind of more...
Definitely, yeah. It's all about engaging people's self-expression, keeping these conversations going. Keeping people educated and sort of up to date with, what's expected.
Yeah, I mean, we just had some guys from Romania. Do we know enough about Romanian culture?
No, on the whole, I'm pretty ignorant towards Romanian culture personally, so I'd say no.
We had Christian, who's gone now. He's the only one who's sort of been to Romania, and he knew a bit.
Do we know enough about anybody's culture?
Yeah, I mean, do we know?
Really, do we know enough about our own cultures?
Yeah.
But then we try and learn about other people's cultures.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's probably taken 30 years for Luton to discover black culture and actually start to celebrate that.
Yeah.
And Asian culture, and it's just coming out now. And I think people nowadays are more susceptible. We want to travel, so we want to know where we're going, and we want to know what to expect when we get there. Not just what is here, but when we go out travelling. Everyone wants to go on holiday, so we want to explore. So it's good to know other people's culture before you actually get off to Luton Airport and get on the plane.
Okay, so Luton can be a little bit of a conduit to the rest of the world, but I mean it's also a place where there's lots of different things going on. Come and have a seat on the table of chat. This is Talkaoke. You've got a new face as well. What's your name?
My name's MP Amfam.
MP, and what are you doing here today?
I'm just bringing some energy here today. Yeah, just keep the fire blazing on this cold day.
What do you think about this idea of of culture and learning in Luton, and are we open to all the different cultures going on?
What other things can you do that are arty or crafty? Because let's face it, not everybody's. I have a degree in fine art, but that doesn't mean to say that everybody does. And that maybe craft is a way to get at grassroots.
That was the wrong word. Maybe self-expression.
So more creativity in the general sense. Okay, got any face to say? What's your name? Hang on a sec, Eileen. Let me just bring in this person over here. What's your name?
Hi, I'm Simona.
Simona. So when we're talking about this point, how do we actually bring the creativity out and actually use it as a way to kind of connect people?
Yes, exactly. That's what I'd like to see. For example, many women, and you might turn your nose up at it, but many women knit, crochet, sew. What a nice thing to do together.
Yeah.
Different races, different religions, learning about one another as you're doing your thing, because women especially chat.
Yeah.
and in consequence, we don't do it. I have tried to get things like that together in Luton, and I have failed miserably.
So, I mean, what do you see, like a sort of like knitting circle here in the town hall?
No, I thought about perhaps we could have things like a knit-a-thon, where you knit blankets for homeless people.
Yeah.
I'm sure Noah would let us. I mean, it's doing good for everybody.
Okay, well, we've got Rick here that's visualising the conversation as we go along, and maybe a knit-a-thon is a good one to do, a Luton knit-a-thon. He always looks like that. He always looks, but you know, what's that?
I'm down for a Luton.
You get involved in that.
Yeah.
What do other people think? A knit-a-thon on this side?
Yeah, I think it's a brilliant idea, and I think this experience of People Power Passion has proved and shown that there's a lot of creativity and there's a lot of talent in the town, and I agree that we need to come together so we could collaborate, work together, learn from each other, develop our skills and just improve. So knit-a-thon, like myself, MP, we're into poetry, MP has a night where he showcases local poets from the area, but I think it'd be nice for poets to come and get together, work together, write together, talk about performance skills. So we're good at the moment, but what's going to take us to great? And there's so many people doing their individual things, maybe struggling, doors are closed when you're trying to push something forward. But if we could all just kind of work together, we need spaces to rehearse, to practice, to meet. We need, we need resources and things like that. So
it seems like creativity is a vehicle. I just want to bring in Amy.
Yeah, I was just going to say that obviously the Hat Factory did close down for a year for refurbishment, but the Hat Factory is back open now, and people can use that space. Little Red Creative Studios is just at the end of the road up there. There is space create for Lutonians to come together. We've got Bear Club, we've got Hat Factory, we've got Little Red Creative Studios.
So there are spaces.
There are spaces now, and they are, if they're just left empty and people don't actually come forward and try and use them, and when there is an event on, people don't come along and support that.
Okay.
It's the support and the networking and how to get that event out, because it's all very well somebody sitting there saying, well, I want to do a knit-a-thon. Well, who's going to run it? Where is it going to be?
Okay.
Where is your product going? It's all that kind of stuff. But we were talking about having a knit and a natter at Little Red Creative Studios.
The idea is permeating, circulating as an idea anyway.
But again, you need bodies, you need people there to participate and to run these events.
Well, and Dominic's up for it. So we've got the first punter anyway. So are we doing enough to actually, I guess, make those connections? Because obviously Luton's a creative place. Everyone on the table seems to be a creative person. But are we connecting those creative people? Are we actually, enabling them to actually do the thing that they want to do?
I think people need to make a phone call. Because a lot of the time, and I don't know, cut this if you need to, but I am who I am. A lot of the time we say we're going to do something, and then you don't do it. As simple as a phone call. So I might connect with you today and say, I'm going to give you a shout. How often do we make that phone call to say, oh, hi, I met you yesterday. What are we going to do? Before we get to this point, and we're now saying, I wanted to do this, and it's not happened, and X, Y, Z. I think the creatives are here. I think the creatives are doing it, like you said, individually. But how many of us can honestly say I made that phone call the next day?
So we're not connecting enough. Is a telephone the way to do it in this day and age?
No. I'm speaking metaphorically. I'm a poet, just to get that clear again. Do you understand? Poetically, what I'm saying is, if we how often are we really driving that? Because if you want to do something, we're going to get it done.
We actually got a responsibility ourselves to make these connections, to make the connections between each other. Simona, have you got any views on this?
I think there are many creative people out there, but it's just getting other people involved, getting the word out there. Even with this lovely event, it could have had more people coming. So I guess it's just the idea of reaching a wider base, because you have the creative people who want to do stuff, but then you have people like me who just want to come and see it.
Okay. I mean, early days. It's early days. Give us early days. Give us a chance. Things are happening. Things are moving. So. Once again, it's about making the connecting with people. Is there a way to kind of smooth that out or make it more possible?
For example, I wanted to go. I read in my local paper yesterday about a poetry thing I wanted to go to. But it was the day before. I didn't know the Hat Factory was open. Back open. I did not know. I genuinely don't know. And for people of older ages who are interested in events, we are not computer literate. We don't have fancy phones. We don't do that. But we need a way to be able to find out. And it might be that perhaps a signboard, with notices on, might be a simple, easy answer sometimes.
So I guess it's different means of communication for different people as well, isn't it? You're nodding as well, Alima.
Personally, I get a lot of people kind of speaking to me and saying, they've seen the events I go to and they're like, oh, where did you hear about that? And a lot of the time it's through connections I have personally. So I think we need to push the communication angle on all levels. So whether it's social media to especially reach the youngsters, through newspapers, through billboards, just pushing it out there. But then that requires funding as well. So a lot of the time, if it's, an artist doing something themselves, maybe with no funding or very little funding, they might not have the actual means and the money to actually put their things on billboards.
In a way, there needs to be some way of getting the message out there for people.
And also, to actually be able to fund things. But I see, just even on this table, we've got some amazing people here. So Amy didn't actually push out what she does herself. That she's an amazing connector in Luton, and when it comes to the Luton art scene, she's sort of heading it at the moment. I would say.
And find out about this. So you're a connector, apparently, Amy. Is that true?
I like that word. I'm a connector. Hi, Jenny. Okay, so a few years back, I was just reaching out and trying to find artists because you get to a point where you feel like you're the only one.
Right. Okay.
And there's no art around the town, and you're living in this terribly grey and dull town. And I just kind of put out a few projects and said, right, I'm going to paint the tunnels in Marsh Farm. They're the dingiest part of Luton, and I'm going to brighten them up. So got some funding, and I started doing that, and then I started trying to find, literally going out on the ground and finding other artists. And as soon as you start doing something big on that scale, other people come forward. So in the last sort of 4 or 5 years, where I knew no other artists in Luton, I reckon I probably know about 200 now.
Wow.
And I've been connecting them with each other as well as working with them myself.
Is there anything you need, any help you need to improve that sense of connecting people?
I think my studio that we set up the studio. We've got an art, photography, dance studio. It's an event space. It's got a bar. It just needs people to be using it and know that it's available.
Right. Okay. So just
very cheap hire. And it's there for the purpose. It's a community interest company. It's not like a for-profit. It's not for-profit. And we're just there to provide a space and a hub so that other people can connect with each other. And they could do it in an art exhibition. You could do a poetry night. You can do live bands. I've already spoken with MP about doing his stuff, some of that there.
Okay, so
writing clubs,
happening.
dance clubs, knitting clubs, whatever it is that people want to do. It's a way. It's just like a place where you can try something without it costing you a bomb.
What you need is people and ideas.
I need people and ideas.
Yeah.
And I need people to come to the studio whenever they're free and just sort of be there, really.
Okay. Presence.
Presence.
Is requested.
Yes.
Where is it?
It's 32A George Street. It's up there where all the street art is on the side. That's one of my things that I did for them all, and our little red doors are right opposite.
Okay, so 32A George Street, come along, your presence is requested. Come on and get involved with MFC. You don't have to say anything, but come on, you're very much invited around the table. We have got Simona, we've got Dominic, we've got Dave, we've got Halima, we've got Eileen and Mark and Amy, and my name's Mikey, and at the moment we're talking about...
We got the cat!
Oh, Cat, sorry, I didn't spin all the way around. Thank you for pointing that out, sorry, Cat. I better give you the mic and just be nice to you now.
I think this is a very key and important conversation, and it's nice to have. I've just taken Amy's card. I did hear about Red Door, but I've never been there as yet, and I think a lot of creative people have got lots of ideas, so just knowing that there's a space can just let our ideas just leap ahead even more. I think it's positive. I mean, at the beginning there's always going to be problems and hiccups and things not working well, but if we all pull together, and I think there's enough people that want to pull together and have these conversations, I think the future of Luton is actually very positive.
I mean, how does this, because obviously Amy talks about 200 artists, but there's way more people in Luton than that. How do you spread this out, this sense of creativity, this sense of a vibe to the wider community?
Yeah, I think conversations like this, you know, more events, posting, promotion, you know, in all a variety of ways, I think that's going to help. And, you know, with people doing things and connecting with each other in just natural and organic ways, and then going off and doing something and coming back. But what I would like to see is people, no, not so much conjugating, but you know, helping each other to become better. You know, so if you're ahead or if you've got a certain skill, then I'd like to see a kind of mentorship or a training kind of program that we can all do
so
with each other. Yeah, because we're all kind of got our innate talents, and we're good at the moment. But it would be nice if we could, you know, just be trained and skilled by one person who knows a bit more to teach the other person, or get other people, get outsiders who are skilled, like outsider poets.
Bring new skills in.
Yeah, bring the skills in.
Have we got any folks to say? What's your name?
No one. My name is David Lee.
Can I talk with David? Is that right?
No one recognises the people who are like. No one recognises what people are saying in Luton now.
Yeah.
Yeah. People.
Well, I mean, that's very much the conversation we're having right now.
People think that everyone are fucking. The police are going. Sorry, the police are going up and down the street, and they are trying to take to people, and they're looking at people, and they're trying to take people off the street. I understand that they children do not want to see these kind of things here, but
I mean, what about the question of creativity? How do we boost people's creativity in Luton?
Do you know what? I haven't got a clue, because my creativity is in my head. Yeah. I am creative because of myself.
Could it be brought out more? That's the question.
The only reason it's going to be brought out is what you're doing right now.
Okay. Well,
that's the only reason people are going to be brought out is because of right now, right? If you did not bring this thing here, then people would not know what one. They would not know nothing. Okay. So all of a sudden, then as soon as people listen to this thing, as soon as people listen to this thing when they're walking past the street, then they know they get brought in.
Okay, so things like this, I mean, open air events as well, and like bringing all kinds of people in. So I mean,
it's like every time somebody on your network does something amazing, share it with your friends.
Okay.
And then they share it with their friends, and they share it with their friends. And if you did that with everybody, I mean, a lot of people kind of just post up their post, and then it's like, oh, just post that and it's gone. But if you actually just take the time to go and check out what your friends are doing, come down and support them when they're doing an event, you know, and if you can't make it yourself, try and encourage your friends or family to get there instead. So you just build the network and you just keep the growth going. It's a growth process.
You are on a spindle chair, and this is why everyone is there.
Exactly.
Everyone knows what because you're on a spindle chair. You're going around the table, and everyone can get a piece. He can get a piece. She can get a piece. You can get a piece.
That is the hope. That is the hope.
She can get a piece.
Yeah.
She can get a piece. Everyone can get a piece.
We hope so. Yeah.
And they want. I want to know the love that people can walk past and actually know what actually is going on in this town, because it is mad.
Okay, so in a way it's about come and have a seat on the table of chat. Yeah, you don't have to say anything. We've got some people that say more. So, I mean, Lizzie's not said that much. There's some people that say less. She helps us get it going, so, you know, all credit there. But at the moment we're talking about Luton, bringing out the love of Luton. We lost Kat now. Oh, they cheer you over there. We're not complete. Halima?
Yeah, I'd just like to say that when it comes to creativity and, you know, the arts, I think it's important, like, not to kind of censor people as well. So, you know, especially personally, I'm like a political activist, so I use my art and, you know, I curate exhibitions to actually bring out social change. So I think it's important if I'm doing something like that.
Do you feel like that conversation is censored then? About how to change?
There's certain situations where, you know, especially if it's like a commissioned piece of work, for example, you know, you might have certain things kind of thrown at you, and I think this whole age of, you know, being kind of politically correct, it's that question of whether is your voice then actually heard, or is your art really showcasing what you want it to showcase. If you're being told, okay, you can't say this, you can't do this, you can't do this, should art be something where you can actually demonstrate what you know, what it is you're actually feeling?
So there's got to be a sense of freedom then, and freedom just to say anything, I wouldn't
say anything. I wouldn't say anything, but if there's if we're talking about injustices, for example, to be told that we can't actually speak about those injustices, I think then that's an issue.
Okay, so sometimes you feel the conversation is censored when you're talking about injustice, when you're talking about difficult political things. Are we allowed to talk? Basically, this is Talkaoke Freeform Talk Show, and we got onto what can you do to improve Luton, and a lot of people around the table were talking about creativity and letting the creative flow happen, and then we're talking about how to actually get that creative flow going, bringing in all of Luton into the conversation. We've got Amy, we've got David, we've got Mark, we've got Eileen, Halima, another Dave, Lizzie and Dominic. What's your name?
Sonia.
Sonia and Mikey. And then we're sort of talking about that. I mean, do you feel like Luton's a creative place?
I think Luton's crap at the moment.
Yeah.
It's no good for anyone.
Really? I mean, how could it be made better in your view?
It's the people that are mainly the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The people themselves.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't.
Thanks,
Will. Are there any good people in Luton?
She's been on the street. Yeah, there's some good people, but some people in Luton can cause aggro problems, create problems, stuff like that.
Okay, so
and just make people's lives a misery.
So
do you know what I mean?
There are problematic people in Luton. Yeah.
I would say that there's problematic people just anywhere.
Yeah.
And I think Luton, the community spirit in Luton, I've never actually seen anywhere. If there's an issue or something happens, the Luton community actually pulls together. We've had recently an example about the Luton helipad appeal for the hospital.
Right.
In one night they raised, if I'm correct, around 80 or 90,000 pounds, and that's just in one night. So if we can have something amazing like that happen, where if it comes to like a charity event or something, people do pull together. If someone's ill, you get people coming to you and asking, do you want food or something? Little things like that. But I think the media usually highlights kind of like the negatives.
Right.
So I think something like this is a very positive story.
When you say the media, what are you thinking about? You're thinking about like a local.
Yeah. You're told, okay, Luton is in the top 10 worst towns or whatever.
Yeah.
Why are we not one of the top 10 towns for creativity?
Yeah.
So I think we need to celebrate the good that this town does.
Okay. What's that, David?
We're very rich. Luton is very rich.
Yeah.
Like we are in England. We are very fucking rich. Sorry.
Yeah.
This is
yeah.
This is my friend Sonia.
Yeah, okay.
She's been. This girl's been homeless for 12 months.
Right.
She's got herself sorted out.
Yeah.
And this is why this is a very bad problem in Luton.
Yeah.
Very bad problem in
What do
Luton.
you think about this thing that people are putting people are putting down Luton?
Okay, so I'm a forklift driver.
Yeah.
And all I do is work, and all I see is people duck, and they're taking wages off out of my percentage to ask me still for 20p when I'm walking down the street.
Right.
But then I end up in the same position that they are asking in my position, so I can't say nothing to them because it's not good. I can't do that. It's
okay. Are people putting down Luton?
I'm not saying there is positives about Luton, but there's plenty of bad.
Okay.
Amy? I think Luton's just gone through a really rough time. I think we've had a lot of crap. To deal with, and it's not just us; it's globally again. It's everywhere in the world. People are struggling. Minimum wage is low, expenses are high. We're kind of getting priced out a little bit by London, where people come in and now the landlords are going, oh, cash. Well, let's put the rent up. And our expenses are going up, but our wages aren't going up. But that's everywhere. That's not specific to Luton.
I mean, is Luton dealing with it in a positive way?
Luton, but it is specific to the south.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It is. Well, if you go up north, rents are cheaper. There is work, contrary to people's beliefs, and people are kinder and nicer to one another.
Do you think that people are kinder?
Yes. I was up last week, and I'm telling you, you can walk through the town and people are saying hello to you.
Okay.
Luton.
And it's David, because we've got a new face at the table. What's your name?
Loriana.
Loriana. And we've got Eileen, we've got Halima, we have got Dave, we've got Dominic and Sonia and Amy and Mark and David. I think I did that right. But anyway, at the moment we're sort of talking about Are people more friendly up north, or are people more friendly, or is it all the same? What's your names?
Lacey.
Tria.
And
Jayla.
So we're talking about Luton. Is Luton a friendly place? Is it a bad place? Is it a good place?
I don't know, it's alright, but it's full of like wrong-uns.
It's full of wrong-uns?
Yeah.
Okay. Are they good wrong-uns or bad wrong-uns?
They're all harmless, most of them.
Harmless wrong-uns, okay. Alright, so is Luton full of wrong-uns? Yes. Yeah.
I work in the local prison.
Yeah.
In Luton.
Yeah. Hang on, let me just hear because look, we've got a new face coming.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I work in the prison, and I see a lot of young Luton lads.
Yeah.
That they do have goals, they do have aspirations, but I feel like for the younger lads that end up in prison, there's not much for young kids to do. I'm not saying Luton's a bad place because there's a lot of diversity. There are a lot of things for older people to do, but I think for kids, a lot of them are getting involved in crime because of.
Why are they getting involved in crime?
Well, what else do you do?
What
else do you do? Yeah.
There isn't much for youths to do these days. A lot of them do get involved in gang crime, and I think if there was more money put into the funding for the community, it might give them a bit of hope.
I mean, Lorianne, I wouldn't normally hit upon your accent, but you sound like you come from up north.
Yorkshire, yeah.
And it's been said by Eileen that people are more friendly up north. Do you agree with that? Disagree?
I disagree. I think Luton people are very welcoming. All the lads in prison have all been really wanting to know where I'm from. No one's ever discriminated me from where I'm from.
Yeah.
But everyone is welcoming. But I think the difference between north and south is the funding in the community.
Right.
I think there's a lot more gang crime down here than there is up north, and I think something needs to be done.
More crime. And we're talking about crime in Luton. We're talking about. Wait, you got to say something? Do you feel? I'll come to you in a second. Let me just.
Lacey, do you feel safe in the environment you live in?
Yeah.
Do you feel like there's too much crime?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What, people my age?
Okay, let's just get some. We got some new faces. Just get some names. What's your name?
No.
And what's your name?
Sky.
What's your name?
Caneli.
Okay.
What's your name? No, say Logan. Say Logan.
You can say whatever you want to Talkaoke. That's the whole point. What's your name?
Jayla.
And are you not involved? Okay. So we're talking about. Oh, sorry.
But.
Yeah. So we're talking about crime. Is Luton a place full of wrong-uns?
What about the homeless?
Well, what do you want to say?
Well, I'm homeless. I've been homeless for 3 years.
Yeah.
But I go to the council at least 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Nothing for me.
And they can't do nothing.
I went there a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. Not discriminating or anything. Yeah. But
discriminating.
Someone, a family got put priority over me. Yeah. And I lived in Luton. I was born in Luton.
Right.
Yeah. This family from a different country come over here and they got made priority. They ended up going out with keys and I'm still homeless.
I mean, do you feel like a little bit let down by Luton, the town?
Of course, yeah.
Okay. All right. So it's David. Yeah.
Look at all these beautiful girls all sitting around the table. Yeah. All these young girls sitting around the table, yeah. Right. I want to say all these young people sitting around the block hut table now, and then they don't even. All they know is what their names are and where they're living, and that is it. They don't know nothing else. No.
Okay. Well, let's find out because you've got this one, Dave. Let's find.
Kids grow up well clued up. They know what's going on a lot.
Okay. All right.
I grew up knowing about drugs and shit like that before I was meant to.
Okay, we've got to watch the swearing on the. We've got some notices on. They've actually fallen off. One of them has over there. But okay, but.
That's what I'm saying. Kids are growing up well before their time, and they're not meant to.
Okay, so you think that you actually know too much?
Kids are meant to be kids.
Come and sit down over there. Come and sit down. Come and get involved in this. So, where do we want to go with this conversation? Do we think Luton is looking after its people? There was a. No, you're saying no?
I'm saying no because loads of people know too much, and no one knows that much, and loads of people
kids are growing up before their time.
Yeah.
Okay, are kids growing up before their time? We've got a new face to the table. What's your name?
Sam.
We've got Lorianne and we've got Halima, and I can't remember everybody else's name. Sorry, but I'll come back. Maybe do another quick round of names. What's your name?
Jayla.
And
Kyla.
Yeah, and
Jayla. Sky. No. Lacey.
Atreya.
Matua.
And we've got Sonia. I remember you. And what was it again? Sorry, Sam. That's right. So and we've got another face over.
Hussein.
So we're talking about is Luton looking after its people? Is it looking after its young people? You say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Why? Do you feel looked after?
Yeah.
Okay. So getting some things wrong.
It's okay, but it lacks in some ways.
Right.
Yeah. It lacks
What does it lack?
a lot of stuff. Like there's not enough money. Like that lady over there was saying, there's not enough like funding for stuff and things like that. Yeah, it does lack a lot of stuff.
Okay. All right.
It's lack of help for the homeless people living in the street.
Okay.
They need accommodation, but they're not providing accommodation for them.
Because we've heard already from a few homeless people.
Yeah, they're living rough.
Why is there such a big homeless problem in Luton?
I don't know the exact answer to this, but I think maybe because they're not getting enough help. Maybe because of that.
Not enough help. Okay. You're nodding, Laurie. Have you got a view on this yet? Are we helping out these people?
I think that's across the country, to be fair. There's too many homeless people.
What's going on? Why have we got so many homeless people?
This is where it's going to get political, but I think it's the government just not putting in enough funding for the homeless people.
Is it the government not putting in enough funding?
Well, I think that's not really something we can really deny. It is a question about poverty. If there's, like you said, there's a lack of youth centres in Luton. So if there's a lack of youth centres, where the kids going to go? They're going to go into the streets. We're going to have a rise in knife crime and gangs. We definitely need funding. So a place that's done it really well is Glasgow. So they've got like something called a violence reduction unit. So they've done amazing work in Glasgow. So I think we need to kind of bring what they're doing there here. But thank you. I'm going to head off.
Okay, Halima, thanks very much. Is that your final thought? I mean, I'm getting the sense that in Luton there are a lot of good things happening, but there's a lot of problems as well. I mean, what do you think? Youth clubs, youth centres, do they exist?
Yeah, they do. They help a lot, but some part of Luton is with all the young gangs coming up. It's like loads of people are getting killed, and it's
the
not
justice system is messed up. You're getting people that are killing people for 8 years, and drug dealers get more.
Why are they doing that?
I don't know, but the justice system's messed up in there.
Okay, so
drug dealers get longer than people that are killing people.
I mean, there's a lot of problems in Luton. We've heard a lot about it. Is it down to the government, or is it things that can be fixed locally?
The justice system's corrupt.
Okay. What did you say?
I don't know.
Okay.
Logan, just tell us.
Okay.
Just say
have you got a view on this? What do you think about Luton?
It's okay, but sometimes around kids and stuff and smoking, I don't think they should really do it.
Okay, no smoking around the kids. Okay, what's the point there? Where do we want to take this conversation? I feel like the table's got a lot younger. So, what about the young people? What is your views? Actually, this is all about the. Give us a final thought before you go, Loriana. Sit down.
I don't think Luton's a bad place. I just think a lot of it's due to lack of funding. That's my final thought.
Okay, what's Luton especially got to offer, you think, that makes it a good...
The diversity, the culture.
Okay.
Diversity and culture, first and foremost.
Let me get a final thought from you before you go.
Me!
Yeah, final thought.
What about?
Anything. What are you thinking about Luton? The future of Luton.
The future of the Luton should be everybody not growing up smoking. It should be all good.
Okay, so more healthy Luton. Future of Luton. The future of Luton. What do you think?
Just look after it.
Yeah, you're on this TV over here. Yeah. Okay. What's that?
To be looked after a bit more and
look after the young people a bit more. Future of Luton. What do you think? Yeah.
I think we need to help with all the knife crimes. We need to help.
You're not getting McDonald's.
2 seconds. We need to help everything, or the future of Luton won't be that good.
Okay, so help people more in a way.
Yeah, because kids know too much for where everyone's doing, and it's mainly because there's more children in the world. They're all picking it up.
Okay, so there's too many sort of criminal influences. Yeah.
When people are smoking and stuff in the or when they go to jail, they can't
because they need to stop because some children don't know. Some children have bad lungs and some people don't know about it.
So it's
and
like
you're catching more people
pollution,
to know.
passive smoking, all these things. Yeah. What do you think about Luton? Do you like Luton?
Yeah.
Okay. Final
I hate Lord Dies.
What's that?
I hate Lord Dies.
What did you say? What is that?
I'm doing McDonald's.
Oh, you're going to McDonald's? Okay, well, enjoy it. Bon appetit. That's one thing that Luton's got is the McDonald's.
They should chuck away guns.
Get rid of all the guns. Okay. Thanks very much. Okay, so we're going to have a sit around the table of chat. Well, at the moment, it's kind of right on cue. We're talking about the youth of Luton, the future of Luton. What's Luton going to be like when you are older? Come and have a seat around the table of chat. We've got David, we've got Hussein. My name's Mikey. Let's get some. Let's get some seats around the table of chat.
I want to hear what
Let me get their names first of all, and what I'm going to do is just recap what we've had so far. So, what's your name?
Stockton.
And
Umar. Connor. Sheffield. Tia. Melina. Lexi. Sienna.
Mr. Kelly.
Miss Standard.
And we've got David and we've got Hussein here. So what we're talking about, okay, we've been going for a while now, and we sort of started off talking about the history of Luton. Did you know there was a riot in Luton 100 years ago? Okay, so you know all of that. But then we sort of started talking about Luton now. What's that?
It was Luton and Millwall, and Millwall smashed the whole.
No, we're not talking about that riot. We're talking about the riot 100 years ago. When the town hall got burnt down. But anyway, then we talking about what things could actually be improved in Luton. What one thing would you do to improve Luton? And a lot of people were talking about creativity. And then we started talking about creativity, how to get creativity, how to make connections between people in Luton, between different creative people, between different groups, young people, old people, all the different cultural groups. And then we started talking about life on the street in Luton, and are we doing enough? Are we caring enough? There's a lot of homeless people in Luton. Are we caring enough for homeless people? And we started talking about young people, and are the young people getting the right opportunities? And what is the future like for Luton? And that's where we are now. And I guess a lot of you are quite young, so it's a good point to kind of come in. I mean, what is life like as a young person in Luton? Anyone want to answer that? Is it good? Yeah.
It's okay, but we don't get paid for anything.
You know, we'd like to earn more money. What would you like to? I mean, how much would you like, and what would you like? How would you going to earn that money?
£5 for listening to teachers.
Okay, you think you should get paid? You think you should get paid to go to school?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, what do you think? How could Luton be improved as a young person in Luton?
I feel like more people, like, you know how there's litter everywhere and stuff?
Yeah.
People can like pick it up and stuff.
Okay, so pick up the litter. I'm going to go around the table on this one. What do you think?
Less poor people.
Less poor people, okay. And what does that mean? Does that mean like getting rid of the poor people or making the poor people richer?
I mean, like, so no one's left on the streets and they're just...
Okay, so giving poor people more money so they're not poor anymore. Okay, and houses, I suppose.
Like more homes and stuff for homeless people.
Okay.
And more things and more food for homeless people.
Okay.
To stop people from like using cars all the time and like walk to
Are people using cars too much? Is that because earlier on we were hearing about pollution as well? One thing to improve Luton?
I would really like racism to stop because it's discriminating how people look and it isn't very nice.
Okay, so how would you stop racism? Have you got any ideas about how to tackle this problem?
I don't know yet, but I really would like people to see if they can help and try and convince other people to stop discriminating.
Yeah. So it's a tough problem. How do you actually? That's a question I guess that goes out to everyone. How do you actually stop the discrimination? How do you deal with that? What one thing would you do to improve life for the young people of Luton?
Would
you pay, if it was up to you, would you pay the students to come to lessons?
No way, not a chance.
No.
I would have more community projects that brings children together from different backgrounds.
Okay,
I think that's fantastic.
Actually, we talked about that earlier on, and that's something that a lot of people want to do. And I think one of the things was just that how do we connect these people together? What one thing would you like to?
Yeah, the same. More opportunities for young people to come together and to find different talents and different experience different things.
Hi, Amy, you're right.
Okay, come and have a seat. We've got one spare seat. This is part of the conversation that you were involved with earlier, Amy, about this question about how, what's Mr.
Kelly.
Mr. Kelly wants to get more projects going with, connecting different people. It's what we were talking about earlier on. David, what one thing would you do to improve Luton?
Everyone needs to come together. I don't need to see people from different societies and everything like that. I don't want to hear that. Or if everyone's going to come to Luton and everyone's want to work together, they need to.
Okay, so get people together.
They need to do this.
Amy, I know you only just sat down. We're talking about what one thing would you do to bring people.
I'd do what I always do, just paint the town.
Paint the town?
That's what
Any
I do.
particular colour? Orange?
Every colour, all different colours. Kids,
Okay.
what do you think of the artwork in your school?
What do you think about the artwork in your school? Yeah, they're sort of nodding.
Do you know who did it?
Hang on a sec, 'cause I'm doing a going around the table.
I'm just asking them if they knew who did it.
I'm come to that question. What one thing would you do to improve Luton, and especially for the young people of Luton?
Make more like homeless shelters so you don't see homeless people around.
Okay, so help the homeless people.
More places for them to go.
Okay, yeah.
Increase the police force.
Okay, more police. Okay, what do the police need to be doing?
Patrol.
More patrols, more police patrols. Okay, so where are we going to go with this? Are we going to come to this question about art? Can art solve the problem? Can it do a better job than the police in terms of improving? So I'm just disentangling.
I just think when you've got art in spaces, it creates an energy and it stops it stops people feeling violent, having violent thoughts. It uplifts them. It
changes the vibe.
Yeah.
Do you agree with this on this side? Does art change the vibe? Could it actually help with your problem with discrimination? You think if you had more art, would it make
sure
people...
you've got an answer. If you say yes, you've got to give an answer.
I think it can, because if they see it somewhere, and sometimes people can copy what they see.
Right, okay, so people just reflect what is there already. Okay, that's a good point. And what do we think? Could art be the solution to this problem? You're nodding?
I think it should, because it just really sends an image of what life's like sometimes.
Yeah, okay, so it can actually, in a way, give you a vision of a better life as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Can art solve the problem? Or so you say no?
Graffiti encourages bad stuff.
Okay, you see, you think like graffiti leads to more bad stuff. Can you? Why does it do that? It's about the vibe, though, isn't it?
Graffiti normally exposes bad habits.
So in a way, I mean, what's your name again, sorry?
Umar.
Umar, you're saying that in a way art can change the vibe, but it can change the vibe negatively as well as positively. Yeah,
it can change people's minds.
Yeah.
Just seeing, you see all the graffiti all up on the side. You see all the graffiti all up on the sides of the where Hartley Road is down there.
Do you agree with Umar?
These. I love the fact that I've got young kids all sit around the bad table and they know what they're talking about because they've lived in this town all their life. And they know what they're talking about. And they're what? Well, how old are you?
How old are you? 10. Okay, so we know so you've been endorsed here. So art can change the vibe, but in a negative way and in a positive way. How do we make sure the change is positive? Is it about having the right art? Is it about yes, you're nodding?
Yeah, like having art that has a message to it, so people can see it. And
right. Okay.
Like probably posters, maybe sometimes graffiti, but not everywhere.
So you think a bit of graffiti is okay?
But
doesn't it encourage crime though, graffiti?
Well, yeah, sometimes, but it depends what kind it is.
You're shaking your head.
I don't think it gets people to basically harm anyone. I think it just makes them more aware that more people are starting to like have just want to be heard.
Yeah. So it gives you awareness of a sense of people, and it gives you, in a way, it gives you awareness of a diversity of people, I guess is what you're saying. There are different people out there, and graffiti can do that. What do you think? Do you agree with this idea that art can change the vibe of a town?
Because, like, you know, how everyone in Luton should love each other.
Yeah.
If a graffiti was on the wall, it will show how like they're feeling.
Yeah.
So then you would know how the people are feeling. So basically, the graffiti is helping them to understand the people of Luton.
Okay, so it's giving the sense of self-expression or expression to Luton. We're talking. Come and get involved in this conversation. We're talking about can art change the vibe in Luton? Is art the answer to changing the vibe? Umar has said that sometimes it can give a bad vibe. If it's graffiti, people think of crime. But then there's the other side of it, it's people's self-expression. So that's the... Yeah, Amy.
Right, so we've got two people on this table who had a before and after experience of before artwork and after work. So Jamie works in a school where was one of the first schools that I started to paint murals in. 7-8 years ago.
Is that Mr. Kelly?
Maybe longer than that, Mr. Kelly, So the question is really, ask Jamie, what was the impact on the artwork and the school and the environment around, you know, how did the children react to that? Because they weren't there when I started painting it, so they would never have seen the before and how the school either improved or did not improve. So let's go to Mr. Kelly.
So before it was a really dull space, it was very plain, but beige walls, didn't look very nice. Amy came in, transformed it into this bright, vibrant, all singing, all dancing, book-based, lovely area. So it cheers people up, it brings people out of their shells.
You do.
So in school, when you come in the front doors and you've got the book mural, all the book characters, so Amy painted all of that. And when you go down Destination Drive and you've got the big New York mural on the wall, so Amy painted that as well.
Yeah.
And the forest, yes, okay. So if they weren't there, how would the school be? Boring and dull. Okay, so it brings vibrancy and it brings creativity and it brings happiness.
Do you agree with this notion? Should we spread that out to the whole of Luton? Should there be way more art around and about?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
Yes.
Would it change the vibe? Would it be an answer? We're talking about, would art change the vibe of Luton if we had more art? Would it actually... Most people have said yes. Umar's kind of a bit sceptical because he feels like the graffiti would lead to a kind of sense of urban decay or something like that. Do you agree with that?
I think art has to be where people want it, like in galleries or in places. Like graffiti's illegal, you can't put it in public, it's bad for the environment.
Okay, so graffiti bad in the environment, that's what we're talking about right now. Any views from you've got a view on this?
Views? I think there is a big difference between graffiti and street art.
Okay, what's the difference?
So I'd say when people are just maybe tagging their names and stuff, that's more, it's not meant to enhance the area, it's people just sort of saying so-and-so was here. But when a huge mural outside is produced with everyone's sort of well-being and community interests at heart, that is definitely put there for a purpose of improving an area. So I'd say that was the difference.
Right.
And obviously I think murals and outside art and public art are a vast improvement in a local space, whereas graffiti can encourage people to sort of maybe not appreciate the area that they live in as much.
Okay, so it's about the sense of appreciating the area.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's about taking pride in your local sort of space as well.
What is there to take pride in Luton?
I think there's a lot. I think there's pockets of deprivation in Luton that obviously we can't deny, but there's quite a lot of things, say in the cultural quarter, there's quite a lot of public artwork and various community groups and initiatives that are happening.
Okay.
That help.
What do you think? Do you think is Luton a place to be proud of? What's your name, sorry?
Mary.
Mary has said that art helps to enhance local pride. Do you have local pride? Are you proud of Luton? You're nodding.
What are you proud of?
What are you proud of? You could do this job. Mr.
Like
Kelly.
how where people work to like make Luton a better place for like everyone else.
Yeah.
And like where there's like signs everywhere to tell you what to do and like what not to do.
Well, you like that? You're saying so a bit of kind of self-discipline in a way in Luton, a bit of like. Looking after your pride in Luton. I'm going to go around. Are you proud of like? Okay. I mean, I'm going to come to you in a second, Dave. I'm just going to go around the table and find out if people are proud of Luton and what they're proud of.
I'm proud of Luton because people in Luton try to make Luton a better place.
Okay, so there is this spirit to actually get things to be better.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm proud of all the colour because it just really sends a message that we're a really happy town. And
okay, so you like a bit of colour.
Yeah.
Could there be more colour, do you think?
I don't think we need any more colour. I think the colour we have is very, it stands out a lot.
Okay, so we've already got the vibrancy in Luton. That's good news for the budget. So we don't need to spend any more on extra paint and stuff like that. It's already been done. What are you proud of in Luton?
People helping like elderly people in Luton.
Okay, so that sense of kindness
and not just like leaving them. It's like if an elderly person is carrying shopping and it's like a load of shopping, like some people from Luton would come up to them and help them.
Okay, are we celebrating that enough, do you think?
I feel like more people could help the elderly, like I don't know, buy get some stuff for them that
okay,
they
so we
might
could
need.
do a bit more to enhance that help for older people. Okay, I'm just going to come around to you. Are you proud of Luton?
I'm proud of Luton because when everyone gets along, we don't fight and it's a better place.
Okay. Proud of Luton?
Yeah, because there's like traffic wardens, there's people with those lollipop sticks near school.
Okay, so people controlling the traffic and making sure that everyone does what they're supposed to do. Okay.
Yeah, because there's a lot of things for people to do and swimming pools, gyms, parks and things like that.
So it's got stuff going on, it's got these activities and that so all that the kind of physical activity is what you like about it. Proud of Luton?
It's an amazing place. It's growth. We can just see growth. We're just setting the foundations at the moment for the more growth. We've got an amazing football club who have just been promoted and we've just gone up. So Luton Town Football Club. The arts and culture of Luton is growing, and that is what's going to be the thing that sets the precedent for the rest of the town.
So the arts are really important as far as you're concerned for Luton. Proud of Luton?
There was a lot of things in Luton. The kids are right. There's a lot of things in Luton, but don't understand that where people are homeless and people that got no money and they can't go to these places. They can't go swimming. They can't go swimming. They can't do this. They can't do that. They can't go to the gym. They can't do nothing because it's too
expensive.
It's too expensive for what Luton Town is.
Okay, so are we actually offering these facilities to people? There's poverty.
It should be free. It should be free.
Okay.
It should be free.
Okay. Proud of Luton?
In some aspects, yes. Not in others. I think Luton gets a lot of bad press, which is unfortunate, but it is such a diverse place to live and it does encompass so many different types of people from different walks of life. So I'm proud of that aspect of it.
Okay.
I am very proud. Prouder, I think, by the day seeing events like this that are bringing the community together. So as long as these events continue, I think Luton is definitely on the up.
Okay, so I mean, a lot of people are kind of putting things down to the culture, to the connections. I can't remember where I started. Did I ask you if you're proud of Luton?
I'm proud of Luton, of all the different religions and people who try to communicate and get on with other people. So it's really nice to see loads of different religions and different kind of people here to do things that are good for our community.
Yeah, well, I mean, that is the point, and I think a lot of people have said it. We've got this huge diversity and people getting on. By and large, there are some problems, but people are by and large getting on in Luton, and it is so as you say, so many different types of people here. So where do we go with this conversation? Mary, come and sit down. Come and help me out. I mean, mostly it's a success story. We know that we've got poverty, we've got crime, but what we've got is this sense of, as you say, different people getting on with each other. Is there a way that we could sort of work on that, actually build on that success story? What's your name again?
Sienna.
That Sienna's talking about?
I think Sienna's got a good point. I think more community events such as this can help to bring, because we have such a wide, varied mixture of people that come to these events.
I know, I've seen them here today.
Yeah, there's plenty of people here from all walks of life, and you know, during our rehearsals and stuff, we've had some great people heckling us while we've been practicing, and it is a great way to include everyone, and I think we need more of that. Of course, that means more funding, and funding for the arts is a bit patchy, so something wider needs to happen nationwide.
So more like a nationwide plan to actually...
That's it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can talk about the nation if you want. I mean, where do we want to go? This is up to you. Where do you want to take this conversation? What topic do you want to talk about? What do you want to talk about? What do you want to talk about?
What topic?
Where do you want to go with this? This is your forum. It's up to you. My job in the middle was just spinning round, passing the mic to those who want to talk. But we do... Any topics?
So, I think there's too much litter on the streets and too much pollution, and it just really hurts all the animals, and I don't really like the fact that it's just destroying our nature, and what once was loads of trees, it's now turned out to be loads of buildings and stuff. So I really think they should reduce most of the buildings and start planting new plants.
But I mean, we've heard a lot about homelessness here in Luton. If you got rid of buildings, wouldn't you make more people homeless?
Well, you wouldn't take down the buildings. You could probably just make a dirt patch somewhere and then just put trees, and it would even
okay,
look
so you
more
say
nice.
plant the trees around the buildings rather than take down the buildings.
Yeah.
Okay, what do we think about I guess we're talking about our environment. Is there too much litter? Can we cut down on litter and pollution? You're nodding.
You can make things electric. You can use you can use humans rather than using robots, fuel, gas, oil.
Use more human power. What do you think? How do we improve our environment? How do we actually?
So people could start walking to different places instead of using cars.
Why do people use cars, do you think?
People use cars to get places which are really far, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But in some places which are near,
did you walk here today?
Well, no, because.
How did you get here today?
So we used the minibus.
Do you think you could have walked?
No.
No. Okay.
We left about 5 hours ago. We could have walked. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, cars and minibuses are useful. What's that?
Just use a bus.
Okay.
Then,
would that have made a difference to using a minibus?
Yeah, I think so, because I think a minibus would put a bit more pollution. First you have the car, then if you upgrade it for less pollution, it could be a minibus, and then if you upgrade it for more less pollution, it would probably be a bus, like a normal bus.
Okay, so we're talking about how do we improve. Well, we're on the big thing now. So this is our time. This is when we get really famous. How do we improve the environment? Improve the pollution in Luton?
I think we should stop having all these roads and stuff, because if we stop using cars, it would get rid of most pollution and oil on the roads, which really harms nature. And if we get rid of the roads, we'll have more space to plant trees to give us more air.
But how are you going to get from place to place, into Luton town centre?
I think we should just have bus lanes, because bus lanes take buses, and buses carry less pollution and smoke and oil and stuff.
So buses only, no cars. What do you think about that? Could you get rid of cars? Okay, well, give us a final thought before. Let's have a couple of final thoughts before you go. Okay, give us a final thought. Final thought quickly.
I think Luton's good because if for instance, if refugees came to Luton, we wouldn't see them as criminals. We would see them as them seeking for asylum.
Okay, so you've got a positive view of refugees in Luton.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good point to end it on. We've still got some of these young people around. We've got some new faces. We've got Mary. We've got Mr. Kelly. We've got Sienna. What's your name again?
Lexi.
And
Melina.
And
Tia.
And come and sit down. Come and get involved. Yes, you can. You can do it. Don't have to say anything. And we've got what's your name?
Oh, John.
And
Ailsa.
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 Ailsa. And my name's Mikey. Everyone's welcome to come have a seat on the table chat. At the moment, we're talking about really Luton and pollution and the environment. Could it? What's your name again?
Tia.
Tia wants to just get rid of roads altogether and just have bus lanes. And the bus is the only form of transport to reduce Luton's pollution problems. Would it work? Are we using motor travel too much? Have we got a new face? What's your name?
My name's Mike.
Mike, Tia, what do you want to say?
Most of the people on the streets are more like refugees who've come over to England, and people don't really welcome them very much. So I think we should have a special place for refugees to stay and to have care, because I don't like the fact that most people from different countries don't get together.
Okay, so they necessarily get the proper care. But there's two subjects in a way. Where do we want to go with? Do you want to talk about the environment of Luton? Do you want to talk about this question about welcoming refugees and people from other countries? It's up to you. What do you want to talk about?
We're down to talk about future-proofing Luton, I think.
Well, this is all about the future of Luton. These are two subjects. These are two subjects which are very much part of the future of Luton. Do you see a car-free future in Luton?
Yeah, in probably a generation or so.
You think that Tia is right in that we will only have buses, or?
I think that Estonia is right in going for free public transport.
Okay, so free public transport, will that be, you're nodding as well, Tia? Everyone's around the table, it's a popular idea.
I'm not completely convinced, because I drive behind buses and they're very polluting. So unless the buses are improved, I don't think having more buses on the road will improve pollution. It could make it worse. And at the same time, I think the timetabling of public transport has to improve.
Right.
Because people spend a lot of time standing at bus stops waiting for buses to come along, and they never come when people need them. So it's got to be. Maybe that's an ultimate aim, but right now, I don't see it.
Okay, so it's about also how do we transition to this car-free future in Luton?
There's a bit of an irony in a way, because we've been commemorating the burning down of the town hall in 1990, and there used to be electric trams running up and down this road, which went all the way out to Bury Park, all the way up to Round Green. 100 years ago. So
do you think we've actually kind of gone backwards in a way?
Well, it's an irony. That's why people are now reverting back to what we had 100 years ago, and it just begs the question: why did that happen? What were the drivers that took away those trams?
They were the tram drivers.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking about this. Are we in a way going back? Did you know that 100 years ago there used to be all electric trams in Luton? Did you know that? You knew that?
Yeah.
Do you think we should go back to that? Have we gone backwards? Is it a backward step to go back to electric transport?
Yeah, I think we should go back to electric transport because it's better for the environment.
Right, okay.
And we're not polluting the air.
Why did we get rid of them 100 years ago?
I think we might have got rid of them because we needed faster transport.
Okay, so it wasn't fast enough at the time. Okay, you're looking sceptical.
I don't think we should have electric trams, because if we do, I think we should stop having any electric stuff like the electric wires, because I don't...
But you wanted all these buses. How are the buses going to be powered?
Well, I don't think they should be electric, because when it's electric, those electric wires that hang in the sky, when birds try to roost on them, they will get electrocuted.
So it's bad for birds. Okay. Got any face at the table? What's your name?
My name is Oz.
Oz, we're talking about the future of Luton. Is the future of Luton car-free? Is it going to be all buses and public transports and trees everywhere? That's what Tia sees. Trees and buses, not trams, because they apparently kill the birds. So, I mean, do you see a car-free future for Luton?
Not necessarily a car-free completely. Maybe sort of electric car.
Yeah.
Maybe Vauxhall, instead of doing automation, they move towards electric, and that reinvigorates the economy with more jobs.
So it could actually be a big boon for Luton if we started making electric cars here.
Absolutely, because that would be a national gross product to export.
Yeah.
You know. Also, as well, it's in-house, so all the work and technology is kept inside the town.
Okay, so could Luton actually be the centre of electric vehicle production? What do people think? You're looking sceptical on this side.
Well, I could mention Brexit as a reason that won't happen.
Okay, you can mention Brexit.
But I've been told not to, so...
It's already come up several times.
It's come up several times yesterday, yeah. So, I mean, could it be in the future? We're talking about the future, the blue sky future of Luton. How do you see Luton? How do you see the future of Luton?
Still here, I hope.
Surviving is basically your main goal for
that
Luton.
would be good to survive. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I mean, maybe we should go around the table on this. What do you? Because we've got Rick over here that's trying to visualise the conversation as we go on, and he's done a brilliant job so far. At some point, we will go to these visuals, and maybe we can do it very, very shortly. But if you're going to give Rick some clues about how to visualise the future of Luton, what will it look like? Will it be the same but surviving just about? So what's the name again? Sorry.
Oh, John.
Nigel.
John.
Sorry. And Elsa. That's right. Elsa, how do you see the future of Luton?
I'm not sure really, because we can go in two directions really, and we could go the way that Tia suggests, which would be great, but it will need a lot of investment, and I'm not sure that the governments that we have are prepared to invest that kind of money in the future.
But if they were, what would it? I mean, just imagine. Let's be positive for once. If they were ready to invest, what would it look like?
It would be clean.
Yeah.
I think the centre of town should be pedestrianised and should have lots of places for people to meet and engage and perform and just socialise.
Yeah.
And
so more of a kind of social centre in the town centre.
I think so.
Okay, Mike.
I mean, I think definitely the night economy in the town is pretty desperate. I think very few people come into the centre of town.
Yeah.
One of my favourite places in the UK is Covent Garden, which has got this vibrant, population there every night of the week, and that's been achieved. And the challenge, I think, is to bring things into the town centre which would encourage people after work to come into to enjoy the atmosphere, to eat in the restaurants, to go to the cinema or whatever, which just doesn't seem to happen,
Okay, so you see a kind of Covent Garden style. Could Luton be like Covent Garden? We've got people sitting here eating their. Do you feel Covent Garden-y there with that pizza? Okay.
What does that mean?
Lizzie, what's your view of the future of Luton? What does
I
it
think
look
definitely
like?
a place that people want to come to and want to spend time in, and as you said, that people will talk really positively about it, and probably it being more colourful and more eye-catching might be quite a big part of that.
Some people have said that Luton's colourful enough already.
It's what already?
It's colourful enough, yes.
In what sense?
I don't know, because it wasn't me saying it, I don't know, but people around the table said Luton is colourful enough, it doesn't need to be more colourful. We're talking about, what's your vision of the future of Luton?
My vision of the future is, instead of having all the transport, we should have more trees, and we could have zip lines, so we could zip line everywhere.
Okay,
and it
so
would be
more
more
of a
fun too.
zip line. Okay, future of Luton?
I think the future of Luton would have more electric cars and more trees and less homeless people.
Okay.
So instead of getting rid of all the houses and planting trees where they were, we should plant more trees around the houses.
Okay. So keep the houses but have more trees around the houses?
The future of Luton could be have more free places so more people decide to go there, because they might be
poor.
Yeah, I mean, we heard it already. There was lots of activities in Luton, but are they actually affordable, those activities? So you want to make everything affordable. Okay, future of Luton?
I would like the future of Luton to be a non-polluted, non-litterful area.
Yeah.
And I really hope that we can reach that goal by working together and making everyone agree to what other people see in Luton. I would really like it to be more colourful.
So more agreement and more colour. Okay, and we were doing our bit here, more agreement, more colour. Mr. Keller? Miss Kelly, sorry?
Less homelessness. I think more investment in homeless people's rights and needs is needed in Luton.
Okay. Dominic?
We've already had some amazing suggestions. The zip line.
Yeah, you're voting for the zip line.
That was genius. Like, I can't add anything to that.
Okay, so we've got to make the zip line happen. Okay, well, Rick's busy
Keep having these conversations. Keep talking about this. Keep asking ourselves, what can we do to improve the future?
Okay, Oz?
I would like to see more sort of entrepreneurial opportunities for people.
What does that mean?
I mean, if you think about Luton as a whole, the potential strategically, I mean, it's located, 25 minutes from London. It's the motorway takes you all the way up to as far as Leicester or wherever. You know, there's an airport here. You know, it's got 3 train stations. There's so much stuff that have opportunities, but they're not being utilised. Luton's the only town in the area that has 3 train stations.
So it's got all this potential as far as you see.
Yeah, it's not being utilised. But there are a lot of people that are stuck in jobs that they don't necessarily want to, but they don't have that outlet. They don't know how to start. Maybe we used an entrepreneurial hub. Like the Hat Works is going to start, but for everyone, that people can come and have an idea and just an invisible hand helps them push that idea through to actual reality.
So the invisible hand of the market pushing people to start their own businesses. Mary?
Hello. I think Oz is right. I think that is happening on a small scale with with the Cultural Trust, what was Luton Culture, not that long ago, with their hat area in the cultural quarter. I think that is happening. I also think that the amount of empty housing that exists needs to be addressed. So there's much homelessness, but actually because a lot of houses are taken over by private landlords wanting to make money, it's not affordable housing.
Right, okay, so you're saying there is housing there, it's empty. I just want to ask the younger people, do you see yourself running your own business when you're older? Do you see yourself being entrepreneurs? You're nodding. What sort of business would you do?
I see myself as creating the zip line on the tree.
Okay, so you're going to be running the zip line thing. Okay, yeah.
I would be trying to help more homeless people and planting trees and like helping the environment.
Right, okay.
I would try and help people to encourage to stop pollution.
Could that be a job though? A pollution de-encourager or whatever that is? Is that a job? Could you make it into a job?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would see myself being a person that would be working with the community to stop homelessness and pollution and all the things that would make Luton a better place to be living in.
So some kind of enabler. I mean, are these the jobs of the future, this kind of social enabler? That's what it seems like these young people want to do. People are nodding on this side. Could it be a real job?
Well, my question to these youngsters is, do they see their future here in Luton? I grew up in the town.
Yeah.
I worked for the council for 40 years, and I still live here.
Yeah.
But so many people who do well actually leave the town. They don't live here anymore.
Right, okay.
And
Why do they go?
Well, that's for a whole variety of reasons, I'm sure. But a youngster, perhaps it's not a fair question for these very young children here. But do they see their future growing up here, having families here, and staying here for life?
Okay, so there's a huge world out there. Are you going to stay in Luton? Are you going to explore the world? And if you explore the world, are you going to come back, or are you going to end up somewhere else? This is the big question. What do you think? There's a lot of thinking going on. I can see you thinking on the faces.
Well, I think I would like leave Luton for a bit and come back.
Yeah.
And then maybe when I leave, I could have a few ideas from other places.
Okay, so bring the ideas back to Luton. Okay, what kind of ideas do you think it needs, or you won't know until you go out there and explore?
Well, I won't know until I explore.
Okay. Any other responses to that? Are you going to leave and come? What's your name again? Sorry.
Melina.
Are you going to be like Melina, leave and then come back? You agreeing with that? Yeah. Okay. That's what's going to happen. We're going to lose them, but they're going to come back with all new ideas from around the world.
We can't afford to lose all this young talent. You
Okay.
know?
But people come in as well. I mean, I wasn't born in Luton, but I've lived here for over 30 years now.
What brought you to Luton? What?
Honestly and truthfully,
yeah,
it was the only place I could afford to buy a house.
Okay. So the
But now I'm
cheapness-
here.
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay. Let's just maybe, Rick, is it now a good time to look at some of the visuals you've done so far? 2 minutes, okay. Yeah, John.
Luton will have a zip wire sort of fairly soon because
Really?
the Dart shuttle from the station to the airport is actually cable operated.
Really?
And
So it's a
quite
kind
steep.
of zip wire?
So it's a kind of zip wire. So you're already getting a kind of zip wire.
Okay, so there is one happening. It's already happening. I mean, would you see yourself managing? We're talking about the future. Come and get involved in this. We're talking about the future of Luton. How do you see Luton's future? Will it be entrepreneurial, as Oz says? Will it be nature, more natural? Will it be more of the same? Will it be electric? Will it be fuming petrol driven? What do you think? What do you think of the future? That's you, yes, you. What do you think? What's your name, first of all?
Marjan, Al-Marjan.
Okay, have a seat. How do you see the future of Luton?
Yes, I think in future Luton will be a business hub for the whole United Kingdom.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what you're saying as well. Yeah. Other people.
Yeah. So because diverse and other people from other town are moving here.
Yeah.
So all the entrepreneurs and all the businesses, and there is good infrastructure for the business. So I
Yeah.
think
So it is a good business hub, and the business side will develop. So that's going back to what you're saying. Will it be a kind of business capital? Is that what you want to see for Luton in the future? Not sure. Yeah.
I would see it as like a mixture of electric, but also like we could have some nature too.
Yeah. And what about the business side? Because what's your name again? Sorry.
Al-Marjan.
Al-Marjan.
Yeah.
Al-Marjan wants to have more business here. Would that work? Would that fit into your green electric vision of Luton?
Well, yeah, it might.
Okay, it may well. Okay, yeah.
Could make it fit.
But there's going to have to be green environmental businesses.
What business brings is competition. So if one has a vision to better, particular, let's just say, plant more trees, and make sure there'll be other businesses that want to compete with that business. So therefore, you'd have a lot more competition around the whole place.
So it could be an area of expertise for trees.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Innovation comes from competition, and ongoing ongoing product development.
Okay, so you've got to carry on innovating. Rick, are we ready to go through the visuals? Okay, so this one, if you can just move a little tiny bit. So Rick's been visualising some of the conversations. This is like the Luton with more trees. Does that work for you? Does that work in St George's Square? Does that work? Yeah, you like that? Okay, let's just go. So this is Proud of Luton. We're kind of going backwards, aren't we? We're going forwards. Okay. Okay, this is Luton. This is the very beginning one. We started off with talking about the Luton riots. Did you know that 100 years ago the place got burned down because
Town hall.
Yeah, the town hall. Yes, everyone knows about it. Good. Okay, let's flick through. This is like the riot police from 1990. This is an artist. This is Boris. What we think of Boris and his bus. This is more respect in Luton and more festivals as well in Luton, I suppose. What's going? Oh yeah, this is the knitathon. A knitathon, of course. This is the sub 2 hour knitathon. where you can knit 26 miles of fabric in 2 hours, the knitathon, and plenty of hydration there as well, I noticed, Rick. This is the future of Luton, and Luton Transport, it won't need the 3 stations when we've actually got time travel there as well. Okay, this is more art in Luton. Proud of Luton, and then we're back to the trees. So I don't know any response to St. Let's give Rick a big round of applause for those visuals. Yeah.
These guys, given Luton's a kind of got a 250,000 people living in it, which is based on manufacturing, which is basically gone now. What kind of businesses do you think will support those people?
Okay, how's Luton going to make its money in the future? What do you think?
Aviation, and also, well, like I said, Vauxhall is a massive brand.
And electric cars.
If they were to move into electric,
hang on a second, let me get some final thoughts before we go. Very quick, final thought.
I think
Sorry, Els.
what we could give to other places in England is to like share our idea with each other, not like have riots with each other and try to have competitions. Because if we have
more sharing.
Yeah, because if we have competitions, if someone loses, it might make the other people more sad.
So competition is not necessarily a good thing because it could lead to people feeling like they've lost.
Yeah, I think that that Luton could be a better place with more trees and stuff, and that we should at least try to make Luton a better place.
Okay.
I think we can make Luton a better place by adding more art to convince people.
So you like the art thing, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, Sienna?
I agree with Tia because we could really
Well, there you go.
Because when you have competition, competition can push people to think that I've lost. I can't do this anymore. So
okay, so it can lead to people feeling like they've lost. Okay, this is a direct challenge to your idea. Thank you. Thanks very much. Has Mr. Kelly got a final thought?
I'm just going to say, love Luton.
Love Luton. Okay. Well, only one person come on, that's a big round of applause. Love Luton. Maybe we need to work on that. Okay, so, I mean, what about this idea? Does competition make people feel like they've lost? That's what the kids are saying.
I mean, to be honest, competition drives motivation, it drives ambition. If there is no competition, what's going to get you out of bed to go out and change the latest cars, the latest mobile phones, the latest trends, the latest anything, if there's no competition?
What about if you're on the losing side of the competition?
Well, that's part of life, failure.
Yeah.
Does it have to be?
Okay.
Everyone at some point in their life has failed at something. The phone in my hand is a failure because in 2 years' time there'll be a better phone and the same brand model. Well, it is because it's not. It won't last forever.
Okay, so what do people think? I mean, can you have competition without having failures? Dominic, have you got any view on this? Do you think we need more competition in Luton? Is it a good thing, a bad thing?
I don't know.
Not sure about that.
To my way of thinking, constantly, it's important to improve and to change things, but it seems to me that we've got ourselves caught in this thing where we always have to have the next thing, and the next thing isn't always the best thing.
Okay, I mean, it's like the thing with the trams.
Yeah.
Like 100 years ago we had trams, and then we got rid of the trams because they weren't the thing anymore.
And we had trees, and we knocked them down to
really?
build.
Yeah.
The square was previously full of trees.
Right, okay.
And it was demolished to create this much bigger space which people could use to entertain and be entertained.
Yeah. Okay, we've got a new face at the table. What's your name?
Alex.
Alex.
Yeah.
Alex, we've got Dominic, we've got Oz, we've got John, we've got Elsa and Mike and Mikey. When we're talking about really the future of Luton, what is, what would it, come and get involved, yes, come and have a seat.
Go on, Connor.
You can do it. And we're talking about what would make Luton a better place. Do we need more business, more competition, more trees, more electric cars, all of the above? Come and have a seat. So, not too bad. What's your name?
Dan.
Dan, we've got Alex, we've got Dominic, we've got Oz, we've got John, we've got Ailsa and Mike and Mikey. So what would actually make Luton a better place? That's what we're talking about at the moment. Have you, straight off the bat, the new people, have you got any ideas? What the future is going to, if it's a good future? Because Ailsa was saying maybe it won't be good, but let's just think positive for a while. If the money does come through and if it does work out, what would make it a better future?
Community centres.
Yeah.
What happened to them?
Okay.
Growing up, they were everywhere. I could go anywhere in town, play basketball, play table football, Tekken tournament, you name it, we did it. There ain't nothing like that now. That's why all the kids are running around with guns and whatnot.
Okay, I mean, it's interesting because it comes back to Mike's point that we also had trams and we had trees that people are asking for again. And these are getting removed. So also the community centre's going. Are we actually going in the right direction, or are we going backwards when it comes to Luton and actually taking away?
Cycles, isn't it?
You think it's a cycle?
It's all cycles. I mean, it's like the trends that. Okay, fair enough. The trams might not be you know, what people wanted now, but if Luton does become pedestrianised here, it's a quick way to get from A to B. You know, through the trams.
So we're going around in the cycle. Do you think it's the same with community centres, that we'll get them back eventually?
Well, I hope so, because these kids need to interact with each other. Social media has isolated a lot of people, and so something like a community centre where you can come and meet friends that you know from other schools that you wouldn't normally get to chat to. You can come and see them face to face and find out you've got things in common.
So these are all good ideas, but they don't necessarily. Come and have a 2 minutes, yes, 2 minutes. We've got a new face anyway. I'll come to you in a second. What's your name?
Dana.
Dana. We have got Mike, we've got Elsa, we've got John. What's Dom?
Dan.
We've got Dan, we've got Oz, we've got Dominic and Alex. Dan?
Right, here's the perfect example, yeah? That ABC building has been derelict since I was 14. I'm now 34 years old.
Right.
This is the story of Luton.
Yeah. What is it?
Oh yeah, let's get rid of this. And then it sits there, and it sits there, and it sits there. Nothing gets done, and all these community centres get knocked down to build student accommodation, right? Why can we not use this wasteland to build a student accommodation?
Okay.
Why are we using these sort of buildings, tearing it down and then rebuilding, costing all this money, which obviously someone's getting paid under the table for? You know, it's 2019. Let's not lie about it. Yeah, we all know how it goes.
Someone's pockets.
Exactly. All this development and whatnot. Who's it going to? Who's it benefiting?
Right.
The students come here. That's great. Fine. Get your education. Absolutely. But what about the people that who live here?
So what would you like to see happen to the ABC building?
See things like workshops. You see like how they got Snap Hat Factory? Things like this, yeah. The thing is though, with things like Snap, only a handful of people ever knew about that.
Right.
Like, do you guys ever hear of Snap Hat Factory? Where you can go there and learn how to do stuff, learn instruments, learn how to produce music and them things?
Have you heard of that, Alex?
Snapchat.
No, not Snapchat.
Not Snapchat, no. Snap. It says, tell us.
I don't know.
Okay, so...
So Snap was like a community thing for like troubled kids, you know, fostering kids, all these things, dishomed families and these sort of things here. But you know what I mean? Only a small percentage of people ever knew about it.
Okay, so
it never went anywhere. It never got the funding, and it got shut down.
So we've got these initiatives that happen, but they tend to sort of, you know, all of these initiatives seem to...
About improving publicity, because lots of things happen in the town, and you find out after they've happened. You think, oh, I didn't know that was going on. The publicity is really poor.
You're not the first to have said that. This has been mentioned earlier on, this question of like, how do you connect the events and the happenings and the initiatives to the people that need to know about them? And that is definitely something that's been mentioned before. Dana, have you got anything to say about this?
Well, I mean, I'll join in with the chat and I'll put my hands up and I'll...
Okay, no. So I just wanted to make sure you...
Yeah, and what are you talking about?
We're talking about basically this sense of like, what is the future of Luton? And are we actually going backwards? Because as Dan said, we've lost community centres. Mike said we've lost the trams and the trees, which is all things people have said they want. Are we actually going forwards, and do people know about the things like Snap that are actually happening?
I don't think Luton is actually going forward. There's a lot of homeless people on the streets. They're not putting into the community, like they've said. Basically, there's a lot of children that could be doing certain things that they like to do, like activities, and I feel like they're taking away our sense of community, and by like not feeding into the people that are the citizens of the town. I was born in Luton, my children were born in Luton, my husband was born in Luton, and I feel like Luton has totally changed.
Okay, so that sense of community is not actually being fueled, it's actually being...
No, I mean, there isn't nowhere for like even adults to go to. I mean, I don't personally go out myself, but there's nowhere. So a lot of the adults you find on the streets, or they don't have nothing to do themselves either. There's not even like a nice restaurant or nothing. There's nothing new here. It seems like everything's just closing down.
Okay, so is Luton actually, what we're talking about now is Luton actually withering away? Is this sense of community going? I know you've been on here before, but give us your names again. What's your names?
Nana!
And
Sky!
And
Kyla!
And Mike, before you go, give us a final thought before you go. Sorry, I'll come.
I think we've got to be positive.
Yeah.
You know, the future must look rosy. Otherwise, what's the point? You know, so be positive about things.
Okay, yeah.
And even though there are going to be challenges, even things like growth, we cannot continue to build more, grow more because of the world's resources. So there is a real challenge there.
Okay, so we've got to be positive, and we've got to develop without growing.
Without killing the planet.
Yeah, okay.
But, I mean,
hang on a second. So let me just.
Going now, come on. Please. Get on.
Final.
We should take care of the future.
Take care of the future. Well, that's what we're trying to do. But we're also talking about state. Have you got one thought?
Isla.
Okay.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
I mean, like the football stadium, I think if they put more jobs into the community, and also with the housing and like helping people that don't understand, you know, who they can turn to in like times of trouble, or if they need support, where can they go to? I think they need to promote it a bit more for like the community in itself and just Luton the citizens.
Okay, so how do we actually connect people as well to the services, and let people need to know who can help them?
Yeah, because in some areas there's no buses that run, there's no local newspapers that are sent to them, so sometimes you don't know what's going on in the community.
Okay, John, do you want to say something?
We need a change in the electoral system, a change in central government, and a more representative democracy.
Yeah.
A lot of this is just purely down to central government policy, depriving Luton of funding.
I mean,
I agree with him.
I mean, a lot of people actually said that today, that a lot of Luton's problems are the nation's problems, and they are to a certain extent political problems.
And it's even worse in the big cities. If you go to Birmingham, Manchester, their cuts are even bigger. It's just pure political vindictiveness. There, I said it.
I mean, Mike was saying you've got to stay positive about the future. Do you feel positive about the future?
No, but yes.
No and yes, and I'm going to call it the other way around. Yes and no.
I do. I think
I'm positive about the future, but I think with all this Brexit going on as well, it's like a lot of people, you know, they've just been focused on what's going to happen in that sense as well.
Okay, Dominic, have you got a view on this? Are you positive about the future?
Absolutely, I am.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think about this question? Is it all down to the national government and sort of like things happening in the whole country? A lot of Luton's problems?
Definitely does indicate the future of Luton,
Okay.
But it's at those times of economic uncertainty where communities come together and sort of rise above.
So it is a chance to come together in a way.
It's what British.
Yeah.
It's what Britain does, you know.
Okay, we know that times are tough, and we're sort of, in a way, blaming national politics, but maybe Luton can sort of somehow pull through it by getting together.
I think we do want to come together. We do want to change. We do want to change the community. We do want to put into our own town and, you know, just see it become a much better place. So we want to encourage people, because we've got an airport here. We've got lots of good people with positive attitudes that can change this town. So
there's a lot of good stuff in Luton. Okay.
Luton is the people. Any town is the people, and I think there are lots of good people here. And it's just, sometimes you just need somebody to facilitate people coming together. It's not that we don't have the will. I think there's a lot of will. I think a lot of people have lots of ideas, but sometimes it's just difficult to see the way through.
Yeah, okay.
to help like with small businesses and just to help people. Like the guy was saying, if they opened back up the ABC, because I remember when, the cinema. We used to go to cinema, you know, like as teenagers, and then it closed down. But I know they've opened a new one. But like you said, there's a lot of buildings.
Empty buildings.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like we come to a sort of natural break point. Maybe it's just have you got any more visuals, Rick? So we've kind of looked at the visuals. Let's give Rick another round of applause just to encourage him a little bit. Any final thoughts before we end this session? Final thought, Dominic?
You've done an amazing job today. Oh my goodness. so much energy.
Well, there's some people that bring the energy, and I do think the people of Luton are great people, and there is a lot of diversity, a lot of life here.
Deborah Knight, she is my friend, and you know, I do love her a lot, and I just want to thank you for what you're doing and like trying to change the town in a positive way, because I do believe in people, passion, power, and I do support what you're doing. Thanks again.
Good stuff. The final thoughts?
Your vocal cord should enter the vocal cord Olympics. So very impressive.
Well, we had the knitathon. This is like the chatathon, I suppose.
As I said before, the future of Luton lies in the hands of the people, and there are many good people here.
Okay, well, we're going to leave it there. We'll be back later. Thanks everyone for taking part, and thanks to Rick. I'm going to go and get some more coffees. Thanks very much.